Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is David, this is David K Reacts, and here on this channel I ramble with articulation, I hope, about a variety of musical, audio and visual elements that I pull out of the videos I watch. And today I am finally getting around to a reaction to Ayreon. I'm not 100% sure of that pronunciation, correct me if I'm wrong. But this is a rather extraordinary looking project based on the minimal research I did. I decided very rapidly I was going to go into this fairly blind. By Arjen Anthony Lucassen. Again, hope the pronunciation is correct. I did actually watch a couple of interviews, or not interview, like the very beginning of a couple of interviews with him to try and get that correct, and he is never introduced or never introduces himself. They always just jump straight in, so I didn't get any help there. But anyway, this is part of a giant project, as I understand it, where multiple albums connect a long-running science fiction story. And this is from the album 01011001. Which, thank you Wikipedia, is apparently the ASCII binary for the character Y, the letter Y. Capital Y, I think. And this tells the story of an alien race called the Forever, who create humanity and then give it technology, thus threatening its very existence by its own hand. That's a massive reduction. I have no idea where this goes. I listened to some Ayreon a long time ago, but I don't think I've ever really clocked what was going on. They're a band that showed up on some compilation CDs I had and things like that. I used to get compilation CDs of female-fronted metal bands, and Ayreon has a variety of singers, is my understanding. But some of them are indeed female, and so a couple of songs popped up as a result. And I really enjoyed it, but I never really dug into them properly. And bless the patience of my regular viewer, Marcus Wagner, who has been asking me to cover Ayreon for a very long time. And I've been putting it off a little bit because they only seem to have live videos. There is one official music video I could find. Excuse me. But the majority of their work is live, and I considered jumping in on that one, but Marcus mentioned that this was the standard first react, and I find if there's something that people recommend as being a sort of first port of call, it's usually for a reason. And so I figured, let's start here. This is live. It's a 12-minute long video. My understanding is that, you know, there's some impressive visuals in this that I might be able to comment on, but it's mostly going to be on a musical analysis. I don't often do this. If you're joining me on this video, this is a weird start. I don't often do live. I've done a couple of live studio sessions, for example, Ginger's Pisces. I did do a Freddie Mercury live recording a while ago. I'm trying to think what else I've done. I think I've done a couple. But my commentary, I'm not a musical... I mean, I'm a trained musician. I've been playing music since I was 3, but I'm not particularly great at breaking down minute analysis. I'm more about, oh, this just hit me as being cool, I'm going to comment on it. But that's not just music. That's also video choices, acting choices, things like that. So rarely do I do a live video. So I'm breaking my tradition a little bit here, but I have been curious about this, especially because Marcus pokes me on it every time, especially if I cover a metal video. I get a poke saying, oi, when are you getting to this? So here it is. I'm really excited for this because I think the concept of what Ayreon does is so cool. My band, back when I was in a band, we were going to make an album that told a story the whole way through. I eventually made a weird progressive thing in the style of the band Mono. We did an album there that sort of told a story kind of slightly. It was all instrumental. It was weird. But I love that as a concept. I think themes running through an album is really, really cool. There's something that may come up on my Music That Inspired Me series from a metal band in the not-too-distant future that was very, very inspiring and tells a story the whole way through. We'll get to that, maybe. That's another video. But I don't have a lot to say on this because I've deliberately kept it fairly blank. I know that Ayreon themselves, it's a significant number of musicians, and then they have, you know, I don't know who we're going to get by way of a singer in this one. Or maybe singers. I know they do have a lot of singers that they work with, so we'll see who comes up, whether I recognise them or not. And I think that's about all I have to say. So I'm going to say welcome back to the channel. Welcome if this is your first time here. If it is, like I said, you're coming in on a slightly unusual video, but hopefully the premise of how I do things will be the same. Apologies, there might be a couple of cuts in this video. I've got a little bit of a sore throat and a cough, and so I'll cut if I'm coughing a lot. The way I do my videos is I will watch this straight through without interrupting it and commenting and emoting over the top. I will then go back and watch it through a second time. It might be a little faster than usual because this video is so long. I don't know if I'll stop as frequently as I normally would because I'm relatively limited in recording time. But I will that time interrupt and offer what commentary and analysis I feel I can, based on what I've just seen and heard and the foreknowledge of having seen the video one time before. Please do like the video, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and if you'd care to support the channel, you can do so at buymeacoffee.com/DavidKreacts, at patreon.com/DavidKreacts, or by leaving a super thanks here on YouTube, any of which will be very gratefully appreciated. That's everything, I think. So without any further delay, I'm just going to bring up the video, and we're going to check out Ayreon performing The Day That the World Breaks Down. I realise I didn't say that sooner. Normally I announce that early on. This is Live Beneath the Waves from the album 01011001. So, here we go. I mean, that's cool as an opening. Oh, wow. Levels. Don't often see that in live shows, like people being up.
A silence so deafening as the stillness surrounds us. A rush of fear is surging through our veins. A shadow so menacing.
This is a very,
Darkens our horizon.
like, I'm wondering where we're going. It's a lot of anticipation in this opening.
What have we done? Is this the end?
Cool use of colour, too. The yellow on the singer and red behind. Ooh. Love the feature of the instrumentalists. Oh, I love it. That's a really cool introduction to the band. Ooh. Fascinating melody. Almost electronic for a minute. Oh, this is so cool. You get the sci-fi-ness of it, which is awesome. Wow, that's a lot of... Oh, is that Simone? I think it's Simone Simons. It is. Frontwoman of Epica. Sorry, I'm going back 5 seconds. I don't normally do this in my first video, but because this is such a long video, it has ads, and I don't have I don't ad block because I want to support the content creators, but I also don't have YouTube Red or YouTube Premium, whatever it's called. So apologies for that. Carrying on. This is quite the setup. This is almost like dialogue. The projections at the back are really cool too. Cool having an element that the crowd can get in on as well. I feel like that must enhance the live aspect so much. Oh, nice. Great transition.
I always knew this would happen. Not many believed in my cause. I'm sure the world turned to me now. I'm sure I am the only one who can save us.
How many singers are in this? Oh, the visual! Wow!
Not many showed faith in my plans. I'm sure they will listen to me now. I'm sure I am the only one who can save me from this
This is crazy! I love it! So much to take in. I'm not saying a lot, I know.
Sing along if you know the words. Help me out to love.
Wow! What a change! Wow. Woo. This is tough to remember, lyric-wise. Well, I say that. Are they repeating the album name over and over, or is it changing? I'll figure that out. Oh, that's so cool.
Help me out.
Wow, we're going on a journey with the styles in this. This must have been one hell of a gig to be at. The production values in this are insane. This is... I'm amazed at the number of singers. It really gives it the feel of a story being told, because we're seeing like a montage of different characters. Marcus mentioned there were musical theatre elements to this, and I get it. Lovely lyrical solo. Yes. Oh, this is so cool! Wow! Woohoo! That's bananas! I have no idea what I expected going into this, but that was not it. Wow. This is incredible. Like, there's a story being told on... You could have no lyrics at all, and there is a story being told on stage just from the people coming and going, the changes in how heavy the music is, what style the music is, how many instrumentalists you have playing at any given moment. This is... Wow! It's so good! I love it! This is awesome. I clearly need to get back into Ayreon, which I know, yes, Marcus, I appreciate you've been telling me that for over a year now. But, wow, that is that I reiterate what I said about halfway through. This must have been such an incredible gig to be at. I understand they don't play live terribly often. But the vibe, like, you can feel it in the crowd. There's, sure, yeah, you know, there's always your people rocking out. You may get your mosh pits, depending on the gig. You may get an entire crowd singing along, clapping along, whatever it happens to be. But watching those segments where they showed that crowd, you could feel the buzz, which is really cool. Oh, wow, this is fantastic. 2 minutes, I just want to see what information is in the description. A note from Arjen. Here's the second clip from Ayreon Live Beneath the Waves DVD Blu-ray. Pick the song The Day the World Breaks Down because it's one of my favorites. Fair. And also it features so many of the talented singers. Well, I know that now. We never thought we could pull off this complicated song in a live setting, but it seems like we did. Yes, you absolutely did. Wow. So who have we got, and who do I recognize? I'm going to have to look some of these folks up, because I don't think I know them all. Okay, so I had a look through the list of singers that was there and Googled them all to see who they were from, and there was only one where I was like, oh, one I recognized by association and one I actually recognized directly. Irene Jansen being the final singer to start singing, being Floor's sister. I didn't realize that, but now that I have seen that written down, I recognized... I sort of thought, you look familiar, and I realized I'm seeing sort of Floor in her facial features. And Hansi Kusch, who was one of the founders of Blind Guardian. I've never seen images, I don't think, of Blind Guardian, so I wouldn't have recognized him. But I know Blind Guardian well. I used to have several of their albums, and so I say used to because I don't really have much of a CD collection anymore. But... yeah, so everybody else that's on this list, I don't know the bands they're from. They have done, I noticed Anneke van Giersbergen had done some, I think it said backing vocals with Epica. And I think Marcela Bovio, I think it was, had done some work with In Temptation. Like, there are bands I've heard who they have collaborated with, but their primary bands, I don't know. I'm going to be doing some investigation after this because there's a lot of very talented musicians on this stage. I don't quite know how this half of the video is going to go because there's a lot to analyze and at the same time not a lot to analyze because live always has less going on compared to a music video, but there's so much going on, if that makes any sense. But let's go back, watch this again, and I'm going to see what I can pull out. I think what I might do is let sections run, and unless I spot something in the middle of it, go back and comment on that. I think that might be the best way. But we'll see as we go. So, here we go again. This is a great starting shot, by the way. Just the silhouette against the projections behind, you know, a little bit of motions, very gentle, nothing crazy. And what's interesting is because it is quite a slow movement, it's kind of preparing us for the fact that the song is not going to take off at 100 miles an hour. It's even thinking of something like Ghost Love Score, which is another very long song, Nightwish, over 10.5 minutes. But it immediately starts off very heavy, like da-ga-da-da-ga-da-dum, da-ga-da-da-ga-da-dum, and it really kind of takes off. This, we're preparing for a slightly slower introduction, and it could go one of two ways. You could either have the surprise of, no, we're actually going really fast, or you could go with expectations and run it slowly, and I like the fact that they've done that. The slow lights up too. I do want to comment on that. Like this gentle reveal of what's going on. You see the keys player first because we hear him first, but it's this slow lights up. Again, all setting the stage for a slower beginning to the song. And as a simple chord to start, we're just going to play a chord and hold it. And that's it. That's going to be the beginning of your song. Very, very powerful.
A silence so deafening as the stillness surrounds us. A rush of fear is surging through our veins.
This is such an interesting opening because we have this sort of the sound effect of the wind, this sort of going on over the top, and very considered performance. I think that the way that the lyrics are being delivered, the way that it's very clear, very enunciated, and it's nice, especially for something a silence as deafening. It's not silent because we have music and singing, but because it is being described so deliberately, it kind of makes us feel that more. And then I love that it's all very, very simple until we get this new chord coming in right where I paused it, and it ups the ante very slightly because the vibrato I think is a tiny bit quicker, it's a little bit louder, the tone has changed slightly. It's giving it a little bit more push, and it's a really, really nice change. And this lighting, I commented on it right at the beginning of this. How powerful is this? We have these 2 yellow spots shining down on the singer. So he is highlit in yellow. He's also backlit. Notice that we have a mover back here. This is a light. It can rotate and flip. But it's right now backlighting him so that he'll be slightly silhouetted with a halo. And the band is in this kind of dusty red color. So that you've got those that can be seen. So it's a very different feel from the feel of the singer, which means the singer is standing out, especially because the lights on him are brighter. And then you have these 6-part lights shining out towards the audience as well. The lighting construction in this is so well thought out. That much is clear. It's perfect the whole way through. That's so fascinating. This whole little keyboard section here builds up and so quickly, dum da dum, and it pulls away again and leaves us unfulfilled. There's no the promise that was being built by that little keyboard section is it's building up those chords and then it retreats one note. And you think, okay, that's fine. And then it just pulls away, gone completely. That's really strong. And we go back to the singing in much the same timbre we had it before.
A shadow so menacing darkens our horizon.
I love the singer's choice here. This big body movement, and you kind of almost expect it to be into a type sound, but he does darkens. It's this beautiful, clear sound. His voice is great. But it's just, I love that they're putting themselves into it, and they're becoming character. I mean, I assume by this point in the show they already are characters, but you can see them in this video becoming characters on stage, and they're embodying their own lyrics and movement and melody, and I love that.
Darkens our horizon. What have we done? Is this the end? When death descends.
Oh, that chord change right there.
Have we done? Is this the end?
Is this the end? Bum, 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 bum. That's the key that we think we're in.
When death descends.
And that subtle half step up there. It's so beautiful. It's just very, very effective how it changes up the sound of what we're listening to. And notice what's being sung too. Is this the end?
When death descends.
When death descends and he's going up, he's going against the lyric. Fascinating choice. I really, really like that. So a lot of the times it's good to have music match the lyric. You have done when death descends, when death descends. You go down because that's what the lyric is telling you to do, but it can be very effective. This is making it a question. Is this the end? Is it? Is it? He's making it into a question with the way the melody goes up there. Lovely stuff. the shift of the band to green for the change in section. Again, use of lighting in here is so good at identifying, hang on, we're in a new bit right now. This is different to what we had a minute ago. And the expansion of that yellow light to incorporate the musicians as well. Interesting choice of shot there. You've got this slow motion of the cellist playing because you can see his fingers haven't moved, but the note has changed, and the rate of his vibrato there is far too slow for the sound that it's actually producing. But it's kind of cool because it gives us a moment to like spend with him in a shot, and he's kind of matching the emotion that we're feeling listening to this music right now. Cello and flute, gentle instruments being played so like sure, you can play both of them more aggressively than is happening here, but we're creating this very, very kind of calming vibe with this right now. The green light kind of adds to that a little, especially as a contrast to the red that we've just had. Really, really lovely choices going on. And I love how this shift happens. You get that the first note, the dum, is played with a little bit more force on the violin, and then you start to get the kind of growl from the guitar before he comes in on the note. So you have a couple of notes lead in, knowing what is coming at this point in time. It's such a quick and effective build-up. I love it. And now we're in a completely different feel again. Bam, ba 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 bam, ba bam. It's not necessarily particularly fast. We haven't really increased speed, the tempo of the song a lot, but the pace has gone up so much because so much more is happening in that time. It's not these long, lugubrious notes that we had a moment ago. It's now this bam, ba ba bam, ba 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 ba. There's a lot more notes being played rapidly, and so the pace of the song has picked up with it. It pushes us on into this next section, but without feeling like we've completely changed the vibe of the song. We have, but it's not like, it's not for want of, I don't know why this, I think sci-fi maybe, it's not like a Tron light cycle where you're going forwards and then boof, you're going 90 degrees off to the left. We're curving round. You could feel the change happening rather than it just suddenly being, slapped around the face. And I love the choice in the filming again. We get that moment of slow-mo, both from the flautist and... Is it flautist or is it violinist? Yeah, the flautist and the cello, who aren't actually standing next to each other anymore. You see the flautist pull back there, and then the guitarist right here. We still get a couple of moments of slow-mo, where it's cutting much faster, and the cutting has made the editing pick up the pace, but we're still getting shots in slow motion. We are not at peak speed in this song yet. Really good choice. Lots of faster cuts going on here, and we're also cutting out to the audience, so we're now getting the engagement there. We're pulling away rather from that contained on stage tight circle that the yellow light was forming. We're now spreading across the stage. We're spreading out into the audience. There's a lot more coverage. All these chord changes are fascinating. You don't see this stuff coming. Bum, 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 bum. We're moving up there, a major third. Not an expected shift. And so we end on these chords where it's like, where did that come from? It feels jarring because we're making changes that are not usually done. And I really, really like it. Like this chord right here, where did that come from? I don't have a keyboard here. For anyone who's watching me for the first time, I record this in my basement. I don't have enough room to set a keyboard up with my current setup. I'm working on trying to figure that out, but I can't sit here and figure out what these chords are. But my goodness, I can certainly listen to them and say, that is not where I thought we were going. That's not what we were naturally leading to with the chord progressions we had just before that. I love that we fade back into this bow, 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 bow. We get this very electronic sound coming through. So again, we've shifted. Now we have these awesome sort of square, hollow center square lights beaming out in patterns, kind of making it. We're getting sci-fi here. We're really feeling the sci-fi element take over. Yes, it's been in the projections previously, but we're feeling it take over in the music now. And so here we have this fascinating... we have this bum, 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 very, very kind of metal band sound, but over the top this bow, 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 the electronic sounding keyboard. At the same time, these lasers coming out over the audience. I don't know. I haven't been to a metal concert for quite a while, partly because of a long-term problem with my hearing and partly because I just haven't been going to concerts that much. But I don't remember the last time I went to a metal concert that was full of lasers. That's giving me a very sci-fi feel. The fire, the pyros, sure, that speaks metal to me. I've seen plenty of that. But this is kind of blending those genres a little bit, and we're getting the sci-fi through in the visuals, in the audio. It's really cool. I like this a lot. It's like some kind of sensor sweep. The lasers like crossing over the audience. I really, really like that. And here again, we have another unexpected key change. And notice the change that happens here too. This cut that we've got da 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 da. Each time there's a break there, and then as we're leading into the next singing section, that break disappears. The music becomes consistent and incessant and rolls us forwards. You're just pushing into this. And look at this setup. I mean, one, let's talk about the fact that this verse is really, really cool. And I love we're ending the lines with the day that the world breaks down as being like a centerpiece of the song. It's really highlighting that lyric, which is really cool. But then this, you get this pulse, 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 all over this. And then smash cut to this, like, cold blue. What different feels are being created on this stage? This is why I was saying you could create a story with the lighting in this. It's unbelievably good. I was about to cut it here and then I ran to commercial, so sorry for that. But I love that we have this section, we have the backing vocals. This dialogue that's happening between Simone and the other singer here. I'm sorry, I cannot possibly learn 11 singers' names without constantly referencing another document, so I don't want to do that. But you have this dialogue happening on stage. You also have the previous singer still underneath them, and you have scenes happening. You have a story being told by the fact that two of them are elevated talking to each other, and the other one is telling a different story underneath. Very effective. You have the two I'm pointing in the wrong direction because of how my camera is mirrored. You have the two backing singers on the top right-hand side of the screen here, who are now engaging in the song. They've been there the whole time, but they haven't been singing yet, and so we now have another element being added. And then these lights, you feel like the stage is shaking the way that the lights are set up. It's so effective at making this feel really heavy. That whole section is so cool. I love that we're getting a lot more quick cutting now. We're really feeling the pace of the song because we've picked up to that point. And I think it's awesome that we get a lot of this kind of focus on the different instrumentalists as well. Everybody is having, sure, folks like this gentleman will come forwards a little bit later and have his solo, but everybody is getting their moment to shine in this video. If you are involved in this song, you are given time on screen, and I love that. Awesome voice. And it's also really slick. Obviously you can see it happening, but because we have additional singing happening once the previous gentleman walks off stage, we can switch to the next singer in a very, very kind of natural way. It's just progression on, you don't have, they can have a character leave the stage and another character come onto the stage, rather than have to have somebody sort of stand to one side and jump in at the last minute or whatever it happens to be. You could be smoother than that, sure, but it's very natural switching between singers because there's always something happening. That section is so cool because we have this different take on the verse we've got coming here. We still end it with the day that the world breaks down, but as soon as you hit that down, poof, we're into another musical section. We have this long, almost baroque run on the piano and guitar. And notice, I love this. I keep missing it by a second. If I just go back one fraction here. Notice how the pianist is highlighted in green because that's the person who's kind of, yeah, sure, the guitar's doing a bit of doubling, but that's the person who's kind of showing off the most right now. There's this lovely sense that whoever we're supposed to be paying attention to is going to be made clear to us at every point in this. And again, we have this very, very heavy halftime section, and we are engaging the audience. Even just doing the hey! My goodness, it's got to feel good to be part of an audience, being able to kind of integrate yourself into a performance like this. That's incredible. Really cool. And I love that we also have this mixture of fire, steam. Really, really impactful for the visuals there. I love that transition so much because it gives us... It feels like a fill in the section that we've got, but it also feels very much like it could be, something leading into... It's a very clean lead, I guess, between two different sounds with a different sound again, which is, a very, very effective method. We have the we just had it's one bar, but because we've gone into compound time, that is, instead of bum 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 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6, you go to that 3 in a beat rather than 2 in a beat. It gives us a different feel and allows us to transition out of where we were, because that's not a feel that we are used to having. Very cool.
I always knew this would happen. Not many believed in my cause.
And we've gone from this heavy metal feel, now we've just got just hi-hat sound, bass guitar, voice. Like, we've pulled way back. Again, this is why I keep talking about them playing with scale. The scale has just changed so much. Really cool.
This would happen. Not many believed in my cause. I'm sure the world turned to me now. I'm sure I am the only one who can save us.
Aye, that build right there is so good.
I am the only one.
Notice on the only one. Interesting lyric to suddenly have bum, bum, bum come from the band right there, because that fills the sound out and makes him less lonely.
The world turned to me now. I'm sure I am the only one who can save us.
But there you get it. I'm the only one who can save us. It's so cool because it's a slight... lyrically speaking, it could be a little bit misleading right there at the beginning. And then you get the only one who could save us. It's not about being the only one. It's the only one who can do this thing. It's important. I like that as the way that it leads into those lyrics. And then you get that lovely call out from the backing vocals. I can't hear quite what they're saying. But we go from that, we have this same sort of feel going on, but it's heavier now. We add snare drum, we add guitar. We've got it's built in the space of that section to be something a lot more heavy. And look at this lighting, my goodness. This is one of my favorite shots of the whole thing. Like, it's fantastic. It's such an epic look. I love this. It's great. The spread of how many of these lights they have everywhere, timed so that you get this kind of flickering. It's constantly moving on the stage. It increases the impact level of all of the visuals so hard.
I always knew you would need me. Not many showed faith in my plans. I'm sure they will listen to me now. I'm sure I am the only one who can save me from this fight.
And so much heavier than it was the last time, and we lead in. We get the additional call from the backing singers. We lead in, and then poof, we hit into a different key, different instrumentation. We got this dum coming in from the guitars right now. Such a change. The transitions in this, it would be very easy for this to be stylistically confusing because of how often they shift. And they've managed to make it so clean and so understandable. It's very, very cohesive. Awesome. And here I love this transition because you get that section at the end where he's like, hey! He's bringing the audience back in again. And as that's going on, he leaves the stage and the transition happens to our next singer. And I think that is incredibly effective. I have to cut here for a couple of moments. I will be back with you in just a second. Sorry about that, bit of a crazy day. So we are going to resume with Hansi's entrance. I love the fact that we're having this we got this callback coming in again. Like, there's so much that's kind of familiar from what we've just heard, but it's also different. Like, obviously, Hansi's delivery is different, but the tone of it, there's a bit more growl here. We got a lot of variety happening in the different singing styles, and it's not just because of the different singers. It's the way that they're choosing to perform their sections as well. It's great. I like here, this is such a great shot. I love that we've got this guitar solo happening here, but the entire band is kind of being highlighted at the same time because it's them as a whole. He has that whole section of the stage to himself, so you have that ability for him to show off a little bit, but this break right up to this point, it's all about the band. And now we have a complete change of vibe in every possible way. We suddenly have the faces behind, like that is utterly different to any other projection that we've had so far in this show. The lighting is completely different. We have this very focused blue with the white highlights going on. It's an utter shift to a totally different style of music, a totally different visual style. It's fantastic. I also love the costume here. All the clothing has been awesome, but this is phenomenal. The detail of the wire for the hair, this entire headpiece, it's so cool. And what an aesthetic it creates when he comes out on stage, and this is what you see. Wow, what a note hit up at the top there as well. This is great. I realize this is not the title of the album, so this really is a whole sequence of ones and zeros. This has got to be tough to learn. I thought it was him, by the way, while I was listening back to the reaction, but I think it is the centermost top head that sings that high note, which makes sense. Like, if you've got the excuse to do so anyway, why not pre-record that note? Because it gives you that security in a live performance setting, and this is a complicated little thing going on here. So yeah, that makes total sense to me. Oh, what a shit! And I just noticed the lasers on the headpiece are actually working as well. You can't... There's a shot there where you can actually see the lasers functioning too. What a vocal shift from these really high... Zero. Now we're right down. The range on this man is huge. The interaction between the different characters on screen. So I think, unless I'm much mistaken, yeah, so it's actually only 3 heads in the back, because the 2 on the left and the 2 on the right are paired. So the 2 left are the same and the 2 right are the same. But I love the interaction that we have between the different sides and him turning around and kind of engaging with himself. It's kind of awesome. This is a really interesting, like, this is almost the pantheon of gods in this world kind of thing, like hovering behind the way that it's being presented. I love it. So cool. Fascinated by the story of this. I will look it up after doing this, but I wanted to go into this completely blind. So everything that you're getting here is total like never seen this before, don't really know what's going on reaction. So if I'm missing something obvious, or if there's a part of the story that I get totally wrong, please let me know in the comments. I also just realized we have a gobo on the floor here. Now, gobo, if you haven't seen one before or you don't know what they are, it's a small metal disc about... I don't know what a good comparison is, but, about, 3 inches across, something like that. And it has a pattern, cut into it. And you put that in front of the bulb of a stage light, and you can see on the floor this pattern that's being projected on the floor. That is the pattern that's cut into this disc, so that's where the light comes out, and you can do anything with it. You can put a logo on there and display the logo, you could do a whole tree, or you could do this, which is like a kind of breakup pattern that's just used to create a different effect. But that's something else new, something that is unique so far to this. I also think I haven't noticed these kind of, I'm going to call them zero lights, like the lights we've got shining up the top that sort of form a zero, the 2-3-3-2 shape. I haven't noticed those before. So we're constantly bringing new elements into this, which keeps it ever changing, ever interesting. It's the production on, it's no wonder they don't do live gigs very often. Like, if I got the tech rider for this show and I was in a theatre, my mind would melt. Oh, and there are ones as well. I missed that. So you see, we've got the zeros going on, but we've also got the ones. I didn't catch that. That's so clever.
1 0 0 1.
And I love how that one breaks us out of it, because it's been building up. It starts with that one. It's almost like aggressive, that one, and you can sense the change coming. And it's the 0 0. It's a bit more held on, and then 1. He hits that really hard, and we get the shift back into the band again. Oh, so good.
Help me out.
Again, fantastic, getting the crowd involved. Like, a long song, sure, there's a lot happening, but it is still one long song, and I think it's really smart in a live environment to have the crowd engaged at certain points throughout it. Because even though this changes in so many different ways, it is still ultimately one very long song. And so having that little engagement is refreshing, changes things up a little bit. Oh, that bass line. Bob, 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 boom. Like, oh, that's so cool, that run down, and then you hit this kind of slap bass section. And now we've got this kind of almost industrial funk type feel going on here. Total shift once again. And it's really, really cool. We haven't really had a bass highlight to the same extent so far throughout this. So it's really nice that we get that now. It gives him a moment to shine. I mean, how awesome is that? There's a really kind of slick, smooth. You know what it is? You get a vibe for the character who's come on stage based on what is going on right now. Notice how through the whole binary section, the person who is on stage is covered in wires and electronic devices and things like that. It's a totally different look to anything else because that is a totally different section to anything else, right? You get a vibe for this character too, like there's something smooth and kind of maybe a little smarmy about them. I have no idea. I'm interpreting purely based on what I'm seeing. I'm only taking in some of the lyrics because so much is going on. I've got so much to focus on in this video. Again, amazing. Sorry, I'm going to keep stopping here and there. I said I was going to stop rarely. There's just so much to comment on. But again, the lights flickering in time to the music. Like the programming that's gone on for the lighting here is great. And I love that we get this whole, he's still on stage, and so we're in the similar vibe, but we've changed the lighting, we've changed, like there's a shift in the vibe on stage as she comes out at this point in time. And that's really, really cool. And see, we've still got that same kind of fill going on. The light's still the same. The bass sound is the same, but we've added in that piano. The chords are longer. We're shifting a little bit more. It's kind of, the sound is not dissimilar to what we just had, but it's added a little bit more emotion to it. Really, really interesting the way that they've done that. I love it. I love that. The pause on, is it bridge, I think? Cross this bridge? And then, and as she finishes it off, and we go back, the lighting shifts back to where we had been again. Like we've pulled away from her warmer entry, even though yes it's blue light, but it's not cold compared to what we had before. The dustiness, the lack of saturation in the lighting when it's in this red state stands out, whereas the warmth of that blue, it's a much more full color. Really interesting choice there. That's a man who is feeling his guitar solo to have that on his face. That's awesome. That is a sick little bit of solo there. Again there, cut, 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 cut. It's not necessarily on beat, which is interesting. It's almost in compound time, the cuts there. I don't have the timing quite down, and I'm not going to figure that out in that much detail. But it's cutting in between the beats here, and it's giving it a lot of motion, a lot of push forward. It's a nice way of keeping the intensity going in the video just as much as it is on the stage. Can we just say I absolutely love this romper that she's got on right now. It's fantastic. That's a really, really, really cool. Like, all the costuming in this is fantastic, but this is particularly cool. And the fact that it matches with the sort of glitter eyeshadow as well. Oh, I like that. There's a break in that. That's really cool, rather than just kind of gives it a little bit more articulation. Nice that we got this interesting kind of blue-green thing going on here. I don't think I clocked, I don't know if that happened last time, the amount of green that's actually on the stage right now. I also love that she has the piano playing this kind of more lyrical, harmonious sound when she's singing compared to what he had. Gives us a nice contrast between the two. There's something almost Queen about that moment. That run-up that we get here. Da-da-da-da, ba-ba-ba-bam, ba-ba-ba-ba, ooh yeah. Ooh, yeah, right? It's got that kind of vibe to it, but also the together, the resolution chord there as well, I think smacks a little bit of Queen too. I like that that's an influence. I assume that's an influence. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's got that vibe going on right there. I love that he just has his moments and he's quite matter-of-fact. Like, there's a little bit of expression going on, but he's also quite just like, I'm just going to stand here and be freaking cool. Yes! Amazing solo, sir. That's such a cool moment in this that you get that. You know, it's kind of the almost obligatory guitar solo, but it fits really, really nicely after that sort of duet of singing that we just had. Really nice stuff. And now we go sci-fi again. Boom, 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 boom. Very kind of electronic sound that we've got going on here. The lasers are back out again. A shift again in style. And I love that we have this da 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 da. Again, that piano over the electric keyboard over the top of it, giving us that more sci-fi sound over this heavy metal that's pushing underneath. Really, really nice. The flames, the dark red, wow, it's such a cool aesthetic right now. And the amount of flash between the red and the yellow. Remember when we had that earlier, where the band was highlighted? Why do I keep saying highlight? In this dusky red, but you had the yellow down on the singer right at the top of the show, and now we have them flashing violently between each other. It's a very different feel with the very same colors. So this, I think, on the left is Floor's sister, right? Ayreon Jansen? That would be my assumption. I love that we end, like, we sort of, as our final two singers, we get this really cool female duet. It's awesome. Oh, the harmony there, beautiful as well. The singing, and you end up on this really cool, long, held harmony between the two of them as the band goes completely crazy underneath. And now the green is added into the flickering as well. Although, is that just there and it's maybe almost that's what it's cutting back to? No, it's flickering too. Yeah. And were those gold, the sides? Just jumping back. Oh, they were always there. Just want another... Wow, okay, that's interesting. Because the lighting here... Look how much more... How much more prominent these two kind of big gold features are. I'd be interested to know, is that something that's in the theatre already, or did they bring those in as aesthetics? Because, wow, they're really cool. But the way that the lighting is flashing right now, it's highlighting them so much more. And it's almost like the space of interest, the stage in front of us, has expanded out because they're being caught by the light so much more. That's really cool. Yes! Oh, very cool exit of the song as well. This ba da 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 da, really, really kind of pounding line that we have going on there. And I love that as we hit that final note, you get the pop of the pyros going off, but then the two guitar sounds that follow. You have that whoa kind of thing, and at the same time that screaming guitar climbing up the top there. Oh, this is so cool! I really, really like this. What a fascinating piece of music. I need to dig into the Ayreon verse now and really kind of, what's it called? The Ayreon universe, I think, and really understand how this all links together and what have you. I have been sitting on this for far too long, and that was awesome. I hope that you enjoy this. Thank you so much, especially if you're still here at the end of all of this with me. That was crazy. What an extraordinary piece of music. And for something so long as well, I hope that I was able to bring some points of interest to you. If you've never seen Ayreon before, forgot to say it again, do check out the description below. There's a link to Arjen's channel there, which is where I found this video, as well as to the original video itself. Please do check them out. Look into Ayreon as well. Super, super cool. And even if you know this back to front, hopefully I was able to point something out that made you go, huh, that's really cool. Or I never heard that before, never saw that before. Whatever it happens to be, that's what I'm trying to do here. Spread the music and spread some interest about it. But yeah, this was incredible. What an odyssey we just went on. Truly fantastic. So thank you very much. Please do like the video, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. And if you would care to support the channel, you can leave a one-off donation of any amount at buymeacoffee.com/DavidKReacts. You can join my Patreon campaign at patreon.com/DavidKReacts for $2 or $4 Canadian. And that just gives you access to my Discord and helps you to support the channel on an ongoing basis. List of names of my patrons will be at the end, and you get your name slightly bigger if you donate at the $4 tier. I have not got a lot of time. This is a side project for me now. I really love doing it, but I don't have much time to produce extra content, so that's all that's on the Patreon right now. I'm hoping that will change in the not too distant future. You can also leave a super thanks here on YouTube if that's something you would like to do. Any of those gratefully received. If you would care to do so. And that's about it. This has been epic, and I'm going to go and listen to that again because that was phenomenal, and I really, really enjoyed it. Thank you very much for joining me. Again, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I appreciate you spending your time with me. Have an absolutely wonderful time, whatever it is, wherever you are right now, lunchtime, dinner time, hammer time. Let's say, how about 11:43 a.m.? See if somebody's watching right then. Thank you so much. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.